Thanks to Insta360 for sponsoring this video. So what vlogging camera should you get as a beginner? Some cameras are really easy to use, like the smartphone you already have in your pocket. And then there are cameras like this one, the DJI Pocket 3, that are literally on a gimbal and can track me around wherever I go. And then there's cameras like mirrorless cameras that really prioritize image quality and getting the best looking results. And then there's specialty types of cameras like this one right here that are awesome for point of view style shots or even just capturing everyday life moments. So in today's video, we're going to highlight 4 different kinds of vlogging cameras so you can choose the right one for your needs. So the first kind of camera you should obviously consider if you're wanting to start vlogging is your smartphone. Whatever smartphone you already have is probably the best tool to start learning how to vlog. Now for this video, I'm using the iPhone 16 Pro, and this is my dedicated phone that I use for content creation. We've also talked about the iPhone 17 Pro recently, and we really love these iPhones for their overall image quality and flexibility with different camera lenses, especially on the rear of the phone. But right now I'm actually just using the front-facing selfie camera, and the image results look really good on these modern iPhones. Now, the main benefit of going with a smartphone for vlogging is you already have probably purchased a smartphone. You might actually be watching this video on a smartphone that's totally capable of recording in 4K quality. Plus, the learning curve is just so minimal. Most people already understand how to take photos or videos on their smartphone, so you can just hit record and leave your camera in all the automatic settings, and right out of camera, you'll get beautiful image results. You don't really have to do too much color correction to your image or anything like that. A couple things I would do though, if you are gonna start vlogging on your smartphone, is first turn on a setting called enhanced stabilization. Most phones have this, and iPhones definitely have this setting. It's going to allow you to get a lot smoother motion if you're walking around for your vlogs. Like you can see right now, I'm not on a gimbal, but the image results look really smooth because I've turned on enhanced stabilization. Otherwise, you're gonna get a bunch of micro jitters, which is not ideal. Secondly, I would look at upgrading your audio if you can. The internal microphones on these smartphones are honestly really solid and way better than internal mics are on mirrorless cameras even. So you can rely on that. But if you want to, I'll link some options in the description below for upgrading your audio to like a wireless microphone solution. I think that's one of the best options, and there's lots of affordable wireless mics, and we'll link some options down in the description below. And finally, I love these little vlog sticks that allow you to get additional reach out of your camera while you're vlogging, and it allows you to put your arm in a more comfortable position, but get proper composition. And it's not like too close. Like if you're vlogging like this with your smartphone, you might run the risk of like it being too close. Or if you have to like put your arm out, this just feels kind of weird and gets tiring. Instead, you can use one of these vlog sticks, and it really helps put your arm in a more comfortable position if you vlog for long periods of time. So overall, if you want to try out vlogging, I highly recommend just start with whatever smartphone you already have, and you can get some pretty awesome results. Now, one of the biggest challenges when vlogging is not necessarily even image quality, but it's also just remembering to hit record in the first place. And that's where really portable and even wearable cameras like the Insta360 Go Ultra come in. They're great at capturing everyday life moments and point of view shots. I like using a camera like this just to capture those everyday life moments, hanging out with my family. When I don't want to bring a full-on camera and I just want something easy and portable, I reach for the Go Ultra. It's also really great for point of view work. If you're wanting to do like demonstrations or tabletop stuff or unboxing videos, the Go Ultra could be a great option because you can mount it to different parts of your body. You can mount it directly to your chest, or using one of their head mounts, you can mount it that way. Lots of different ways and flexibility for mounting the Go Ultra. I'm actually training for a half marathon right now with my wife, and this is a fun little camera we can take on runs, and it adds basically no weight when we're running. So this camera can shoot up to 4K at 60 frames per second. If you want to capture some nice slow motion stuff, you can do that with the Insta360 Go Ultra. Also, this camera is super tiny. It's only 53 grams if you're just using the camera alone, but it also comes with this little action pod, which is kind of like this flip up screen monitor that makes it feel like more of a traditional action camera. And you can use that to control the entire unit and see your image when recording. Now, this camera can also pair with the smartphone app. If you want to use your phone to monitor your video signal, you don't always have to use the action pod. The Go Ultra also features a removable micro SD card, up to 2 terabytes of storage that you can input to the Go Ultra. So plenty of storage to last you multiple days of filming. Now, this camera does have multiple stabilization modes, so if you are doing different activities, you would maybe change the stabilization mode. You could set it to the highest stabilization. If you're doing like point of view work, action sports, you're doing a bicycle ride, or you're running with the camera, you can turn it to its highest stabilization setting. But then if you're doing like just generic vlogging, walk and talk stuff, you can set it to a lower stabilization and that should work just fine. And there's also different FOV settings. If you want a wider field of view, depending on what you're recording, you can set it to that. Or if you want less distortion and you want it to look more like real life, a more standard focal length, you can change it to a more narrow field of view, and that might actually be better depending on what you're recording. Now the Go Ultra can also pair wirelessly to their Mic Air, and that's what I'm using to record this portion of the video. So all the audio you're hearing right now is just this little microphone I have right here, not even clipped onto me. I'm using it just kind of as a handheld microphone here in the Portland airport. And the Mic Air does come with a USB-C option as well if you want to pair it with smartphones, but I'm just doing this wirelessly with the built-in audio receiver that the Go Ultra has. Price point for this is only $449, and you get the action pod as well as a wrist strap and a couple other accessories as well for the Go Ultra, and it's actually the most affordable camera out of all of the cameras we're comparing in this video. So the Go Ultra isn't really trying to replace your mirrorless camera or your smartphone or even the Pocket 3. It's serving a distinct role of capturing those everyday life moments in the smallest, most portable package, and really allows you to capture those daily life moments that you wouldn't probably film otherwise. If you're interested in the Insta360 Go Ultra, we'll link it down in the description below, along with all of these cameras we feature in today's video. Now, I just got to my hotel room in Vegas for the work trip that I'm on for Think Media, but our next camera that I'm actually using for this portion of the video is the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. And you can see it's literally able to track me right now because this camera is actually on a physical gimbal that can rotate 360 degrees to track different subjects, but also just get you the most stable possible footage that you can capture while recording vlogs, because it's actually a piece of hardware that stabilizes the camera rather than just software, so you really can get super smooth shots. Now, if you didn't know, DJI actually recently released the DJI Pocket 4, but it's actually impossible right now to get in the United States. So the Pocket 3 is still a viable option for this sort of camera form factor, but there's also a camera called the Extra Muse, which is essentially the Pocket 3 that you could look at if you wanted a different option. And even Insta360 is creating their own versions of this pocket style camera. But the Pocket 3 has been around for a while at this point, so we'll just use this as the case study for this type of vlogging camera. My favorite way to use the Pocket 3 is for traditional vlogging, especially vlogging that involves movement, where I either want to position the camera in one location and I want to move around, move to left and right, forward and back, because it can automatically track you. Or even if I am walking around with the camera itself, you do get really smooth vlog shots because of that gimbal. This camera also produces a really nice image. It's one of the best images out of a small portable vlogging camera. It can shoot in 4K up to 120 frames per second, so this will get you some ultra high frame rate shooting for really slow motion clips. But honestly, I really hardly ever use higher frame rates with this camera, and I'm typically only shooting in 4K at 24 or 30 frames per second for all of my standard vlogging. The screen on the Pocket 3 is also really interesting because it can really quickly go from vertical to horizontal orientation, and you can actually set the camera so that when you flip and rotate the screen, it will actually rotate the orientation that you're recording as well. So if you want to record vertical clips for social media, you can flip it into vertical orientation and it'll start recording that way. And if you want widescreen for long form YouTube videos, then you can have it in the horizontal mode. Or if you want to lock the orientation, you can also do that as well, but kind of a cool feature. There's also a combo kit that you can purchase that comes with an extended battery, which also acts as a grip, which I really like using actually. When you only use the Pocket 3 itself, it's kind of a small stick design that's a little bit hard to hold with two hands. And when you add this extended battery grip, not only do you greatly improve the battery life of the Pocket 3, and it becomes one of the best options for all-day battery life if you want to vlog for multiple hours. And that battery also gives you a nice grip to hold onto. And then there's also a mini tripod that you can screw on the bottom of the battery handle to set the Pocket 3 up on different surfaces if you want to go hands-free. And the Pocket 3 can also work wirelessly with some of DJI's different microphones. I'm using the DJI Mic 2 for this video because that's what comes with the combo kit, but it'll also work with the DJI Mic Mini and the DJI Mic 3 if you'd prefer to use those wirelessly. Price for the Pocket 3 has actually been all over the place over the last couple years. It's gotten as high as like $900 for the Pocket 3, and it's been out of stock, but right now they're actually back in stock in America, and price-wise for the combo kit is only $570. So it's one of the best prices we've seen in the last couple years to grab the combo kit right now. So if you're specifically somebody who wants to do walk and talk style vlogging and have the smoothest possible results while you're doing that, I think the Pocket 3 is a fantastic option. The only real trade-offs with the Pocket 3 are the design is a little bit awkward. If you're not used to recording with this sort of style, it is a little bit of an awkward style camera to carry around, and it's not as portable as something like the Go Ultra or a smartphone. And at the same time, it's not as big as a mirrorless camera option, but you also don't get the same level of image quality with like a high level point and shoot or mirrorless camera. It kind of sits right in between those. So the Pocket 3 is a really unique style of camera, but one that really solves the job of walk and talk style vlogs and getting really smooth looking vlog shots really well. Now finally, this last kind of camera is maybe the first thing that people think about when vlogging, which are mirrorless or larger point and shoot cameras that really prioritize maximum image quality, but honestly have like the minimal level of convenience when it comes to practically getting out and vlogging on an everyday basis. Now the camera I'm using for this video is the Sony ZV-E10 Mark II, and the image quality is gorgeous. Every time I film with this camera, I'm really shocked at just how beautiful the image results actually are. Because this camera has the largest sensor out of all of the cameras on our list, you're gonna get really great depth of field and image performance. And if you're somebody who wants to color grade your footage and shoot in like a flat picture profile, this camera can shoot in 10-bit color, which is really impressive. When you choose a really good point and shoot or mirrorless camera, something you'll also get is way better low light image performance. So if you're somebody who likes to vlog at nighttime or vlog indoors in darker environments, a mirrorless camera with a larger sensor is gonna perform a whole lot better than some of these other cameras we talked about earlier in the video, because those other cameras have such tiny little sensors, they perform a lot worse in lower light conditions than something like a ZV-E10. Mirrorless cameras also allow you to swap different lenses on your body. So for this video, I'm using the Viltrox 9mm lens, which is a really fun wide angle lens, but I could put any lens that I want on this camera, which is really cool to get different creative looks and use this camera for more than just vlogging. I will say though, it gets pretty fatiguing holding a rig like this for any extended amount of time, so something you should be aware of. A lot of these other cameras are way more portable and easy to carry around. Now, of course, image results will look fantastic on a camera like this, but you are sacrificing a lot of the portability factor. And trying to carry a camera like this, you're gonna have to like bring a backpack around to carry all of the accessories, versus something like the Go Ultra can throw right in a pocket, or your smartphone you might already have on you to begin with. So portability and convenience is really what suffers when you vlog with a mirrorless setup. So which one of these cameras is right for you? Well, if you're a total beginner and you don't really have anything to begin with, then totally just start with your smartphone. I think it's a great entry point, especially if you pick up a couple of affordable accessories like a really budget wireless microphone and a little vlogging stick. If stabilization and walk and talk vlogs are important to you, I think the Pocket 3 is a fantastic choice. If image quality is priority, look for a mirrorless camera like the ZV-E10 II or the Canon R50V or PowerShot V1 are also very great options. And if you want maximum portability and convenience for point of view shots or everyday life moments, something like the Go Ultra is a great option. Again, if you're interested in picking up the Insta360 Go Ultra, we'll link it down in the description below, as well as all of these other cameras that we featured in today's video. If you want to check out another video from us, you can click or tap the screen right here to watch that video, and I'll see you in the next one.